morning, you guys. How we doing? Sorry, it's a little windy. We're at the garden. We're harvesting leeks today. These leeks were grown specifically. I know the sun's crappy. We grew these leeks specifically to make homemade potato leek soup. I'll show you the bed in a minute. I've got 4 rows. I'm not sure how many's in here. We're a couple of weeks behind schedule to harvest them. It's just been crazy busy, and so things are just getting done in the time that I have them. You guys who grow lots of food, you know what I'm talking about. Harvest season gets crazy. So I'll show you the leeks, and the process here is I'm going to pull them out of the ground. I've got my boys with me. They're behind the camera, and I'm going to hand the leeks to them. They're going to wash all the roots off, because last year when I brought all the leeks home, if you watch my potato leek harvest video from last year, you saw the absolute disaster that my kitchen floor turned into with all the mud. So basically they're going to wash the roots off. They're going to stack them in totes. We're not going to do much filming here at the garden. I'll show you guys picking some leeks, and then the rest of the video will be at home, and we're making potato leek soup today with the leeks from the garden here, and then Yukon potatoes that we also grew here. Ready? Okay, let's do it. Okay, so here's the leek bed. My big old shadows covering it up. All right, so starts here, runs to here, and I put the leeks every couple inches. I'll show you in a minute. And there's 4 rows of leeks. So they're pretty nice looking. We'll start at the end and we'll pull one. We'll get to the end. Cucamelons all grown up in my leeks, eh? Look at that. This is all just cucamelons here, all on the ground. All the vines, the ones that didn't grow. Okay, see? Cucamelons. Let's have one right now. If you're not growing cucamelons, guys, you see this whole green wall? That's only 5 little tiny plants. Look at them. They're just loaded. All right. Back to leeks. I'm gonna have to fight our way in here. All right, let's get the first one. Can you guys see that okay? Let's see. So, that's a good size. So when we get home, I'm gonna peel all that crap off, get down to nice, healthy leeks, and all you do is pull the outer layers off until you get down to the nice stuff. I'll probably have my kids just tear some of this crappy stuff off here. There, get you in the light. I'll probably have my kids tear some of this crappy stuff off here while we're at it. All right, actually, yeah. All right, so let's do this. Leek time. Got them harvested. 3 big totes of leeks. We've got some good sized ones, right? Got some good sized ones. We had some smaller ones, because what happened is, I'll show you guys. The cucamelons started growing into the leek patch, because the leeks go up to like here, and the vines were creeping over top, and they shadowed out some of those leeks, so they didn't grow as big as I'd hoped. So next year I have to remember placement of those cucamelons. Maybe I'll just give them their own small separate trellis. So I'm not sure how much this weighs, but like I said, we have 3 totes, and when I get home I'm going to start processing. We had the kids wash all the mud out of the bottom, so they're, you know, mostly clean, and that's going to stop a whole lot of mess in my kitchen. But guys, this is the problem with your leeks. Okay, they always get dirt up in the fronds. So cleaning your leeks, you gotta be really thorough. See, because see how it hides right down inside there. So cleaning them is a whole process unto itself. But at least now we've lost most of the dirt here. So when we process them at home, the amount of dirt we'll have to contend with is much less. So 4 rows of leeks, give or take about 8 feet long. We harvested 3 totes. Now I'm just gonna harvest a bit of peppers before I leave, and when I turn this camera back on, we're making potato leek soup. What's going on? We're back in my kitchen. 1 second you see me in the garden, poof, we're in my kitchen again. We're making potato leek soup. I got myself a new pot, big heavy base on it. I just opened it, just washed it, realized I should have bought the biggest one. That's a 16 quart, I should have bought like a 20. But it's too late now, I need that pot, we're making soup. So basically, I've got 3 totes that you guys already saw me harvest, they're sitting on the floor. We are going to cut the bottoms off, cut the fronds off, and then we're gonna wash them, get all the sand out and dirt, because there's always sand and dirt that kind of hides up in your leeks. I'll show you how to do that, and then we're gonna get on to making the recipe. So getting your leeks ready to wash, simple. Cut the bottoms off, and then figure how far up these tops you're gonna use. We're not gonna use a lot of them. Probably come up maybe 6 inches or so. Cut them off. Got my yuck bucket, as always. You guys watch my channel, you know that's gonna be there. See, but when you're looking at these leaves, if they're junk, right? Like some of these are just junk, okay? We're not gonna keep those. So. It's not worth fighting over. I have enough leeks. Now, all we're gonna do is peel off the outsides until we get down to nice leeks. And there's no point in washing leeks that you're not keeping. See, and this is why you need to wash them. See that? That's bug damage. So we have to keep peeling layers till we get past it. All right, now with that little piece, I'll just cut that off. So out of all that leek, this is what we end up with. So basically I'll just put these aside and I'll get a whole bunch down to this point and then we'll move forward. But look guys, see? Right? You really have to take washing your leeks seriously. So I'm gonna get a whole bunch of these processed. That's what we end up with. A whole bunch that look like that. There's a lot of bug damage, and on top of that, a lot of the tops were just thrashed. So we ended up, I mean, some of them, they even ended up like that. And we've had to actually cut some of them down to that. So remember, when you're going up into here, a lot of this black muck doesn't necessarily be dirt. Some of it can actually be frass, which is insect poop. So make sure you clean this stuff, right? So here's what we're gonna do. Because we're going to saute it, it doesn't have to look pretty, right? So I'm gonna get all of these cut up like this, and then we're gonna throw them in my sink. We're gonna give them a good wash. We're gonna drain the water out. Then we're gonna wash them again and probably wash them at 2 or 3 times to make sure we get all the bits and pieces out. So I gotta process. Here's the bowl. That's what we're doing. Process in that bowl into this, and as I cut them, I'm just gonna fire them right in the sink. All right, so in here, we have a ton of leeks, pounds of leeks, and 3 pounds of butter. So we are basically just wilting these leeks down. We've got a big ass pot boiling away. We're doing everything kind of all at once. I know you can't really see, I got a big pot of potatoes. So next, basically all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut those potatoes up into give or take chunks about that big, and we're gonna put them right in that big old pot. So because we're boiling these and not steaming them, I normally steam my potatoes. We're going to leave them in chunks about that big because as they steam, it's all gonna break up, right? So maybe ones like this, maybe ones like that I'll cut smaller. Yeah, that's right. Modifying the recipe as I go. So we're gonna mash half and we're gonna keep half intact. So basically that's what we're looking for. And as I cut them, they're going right into the pot. So I have that to do. Potatoes are done. I'm going to take half of the potatoes out, put them in this big red pot. I'm going to mash half of the potatoes, and I'm going to keep half in the pot, and I'm going to drain most of this water out, but I'm going to keep a little bit to the side in case I need a little bit of water to add, and all the starch that's in the bottom will help thicken the soup if I need that. We've got about half the potatoes. We got half the potatoes in the pot. We're just going to mash them up. We kept the other potatoes whole, well, in the chunks. Going to give these a good mash. They don't have to be perfect because once they go back into the water in the soup, any of the little bits that are in here, they'll just break down. All right, so now we have, we're gonna put the big pot back on the stove. We're gonna put these mashed potatoes into that pot. Scrape those out in a minute. We need the liquid in the pot. So we're gonna add all these beautiful leeks. Look at that. How good does that look? Now the soup really starts coming together. All right, we'll give this a stir. And then we'll scrape the rest of those mashed potatoes out of that pot. And then we're gonna carry this pot. We are going to empty 2 chicken broths into it. Because flavor, right? Because flavor. And then we're just gonna start pouring cartons of 10% cream in. 10%. And we're just gonna go until we start getting some good height in this pot. Hi, Thor. Yeah, I hear you, Thor. Okay. There. 4 cream and 2 chicken stock. Now we just give it a stir. Start blending it all up. Now we need to bring it up to temperature. You don't want to bring it up to temperature high, so we're just basically going to keep it on a low medium. Put the lid on. Keep stirring. Oh, you know what we forgot? We forgot to season it. We're going to put about that much salt in. And a little more for good luck. And then about that much black pepper. Give that a big old stir. You got to be careful with your salt because you can add more, but you can't take it out. So basically now, all we're going to do is we're going to bring this up to temperature and start thickening it. There we go. Now we let her thicken up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the next morning, and I took this off the stove last night. Look at that. Oh, baby. So what I did is I added 4 tablespoons of flour mixed with water into here to thicken it up, because I didn't want to just keep trying to reduce it in case I scalded it. So I added 4 tablespoons of flour in a mason jar with water, shook the crap out of it, and added it to here. Let that cook for about 5 minutes, and then I took it off the stove, and I cooled the pot down overnight. So there's the final result. So basically, now we are going to, because you cannot can cream soups like this, I'm going to freeze it in large Ziploc bags. So basically all we're going to do now is I'm going to get a baking sheet, put a baking sheet down here, and we're just going to scoop 7 ladles, right? We're going to do 7 ladles per bag, because that basically works out to 1 meal for the family, for me and my 2 kids. Basically, that works out to give or take 1 quart. So I could also, to make things easier, I could just use my 4-cup measuring cup. Actually, that's what I am going to do. My 4-cup measuring cup, because that's a quart. So I'll start bagging, and I'll show you when we're done. Look at that. Look at that. We have 9 meals. Can't really tell. They're all kind of sitting on each other, but we've got 9 meals of potato leek soup for the family. And I have 2 totes over there on the ground left of leeks. So I may do another run of this, or I may not, because that took a while. So if you're going to do this in a large pot, one thing I suggest you do is keep your cream out on your counter and let it warm up to room temperature, because that is going to reduce the amount of time it takes for you to heat this soup back up. Like when you started adding all the cream into the pot, because it came out of the fridge and it took an hour and a half just to come up to temperature. So if your cream was counter warm, then it's going to take a lot less time. So what basically I've done here is I put a quart and a bit into each one of these bags, and I'm going to run them down to my deep freezer, and we're done. So I hope you guys like this. Delicious soup, right? Who doesn't like potato leek soup? I might actually do another batch and put 2 pounds of bacon in here, fry up the bacon, chop it up, and then cook the leeks in the butter, in the bacon with the bacon fat, and then we will have bacon infused potato leek soup, because that's even better, because everything with bacon is fantastic. So please share this out, guys. It's harvest season. Everybody's harvesting their food, and do what you need to put food away. I love you guys. Like, subscribe, share, do the things. Grow good food. Green thumb out.